took the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, all the social media channels that I could get, TikTok, everything, and built a foundation off of that. Then after that, got the website up and running. Went back this time to TikTok, posted the video, captioned, "Who would buy this?" And I wasn't really expecting much, honestly. But within a few minutes, I was just getting a lot of views, and then I'd scroll and it was like 5,000, 10,000 views. And then a couple seconds later, first order came in and I was like, okay, great. Maybe if I just wait, a couple more hours or whatever, I'll get 5 or 6 more orders and work on them tomorrow. I severely underestimated the power of TikTok. By the end of the day, I had over, I think it was like 2 million views. And there was just hundreds of people on my website. Within that 10-hour time frame from when I first posted the video to when I had to be like, okay, I got to do something about this. 10 hours, I had sold like $6,000, $7,000 worth of products. And granted, I had only ever made one cocoa bomb.
No, don't worry about that.
So I was like, oh crap, how am I going to do this? So that led me to take the next steps to go seek help, right? I had no idea what to do. I wasn't a business, nothing, legal entity, nothing. Long story short, I went to my Boise State entrepreneur professor, Kent Newport, super awesome guy. Told him everything, showed him actually everything that was happening. At one point during that time from, sold to him, going to him, I put a close to my website. I was like sold out. But when I was with him, I opened it up just for a couple of minutes. And within those couple of minutes, it was just like $100, $80, $200, $60, $40, just orders coming in.
So how were you fulfilling the orders in the beginning?
So I wasn't. I wasn't. I was just like, I don't know what to do. Where do I go? I mean, at this point, I've taken people's money.
You better deliver.
I need to do something. He was like, well, you have 2 options. And I was like, okay, what is it? He's like, you either give people all their money back or you get your ass to work. I'm like, I'm not about to give people back, all this money. Exactly. Like, this is something they want. I'm getting calls, emails, everything about this product. So I'm going to go with Blotter, figure out how to do this. Exactly. Referred me to an attorney. He helped me expedite the process of setting up an LLC. Cocoa Bombs LLC was established. Helped me file a trademark for the name Cocoa Bombs. There was nothing like that at the time, Cocoa Bombs, when I invented it and it came out. So we got all that figured out. Then the next step was really figuring out the manufacturing process, that manufacturing side of it. That was probably what took the longest. It was about a week and a half to 2 weeks before I could finally fulfill those couple of hundred orders that came in.
Were people pretty understanding? Like, were you
most were, definitely. A lot of people were very understanding. I want to say the majority, 99.9% of them were. I told them, I was like, hey, look, like this is an unexpected sort of product that blew up. Like we had no idea we'd have this much demand and orders coming our way. So please give us, anywhere from 10 to 14 working days, and we'll make sure to get the orders fulfilled. And everyone was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And they were like, no, like, I'll wait. I really want the product. This is so cool. So yeah, I spent about a week and a half just kind of talking to different, so to say, co-manufacturers, chocolatiers, and stuff like that. I'm sure you're familiar with Idaho Candy Company, the company behind the Idaho Spud Bar. So his name, president of that company, his name is actually Dave Wagers. So he was one of the first people I went to. We did the whole NDA thing, blah, blah, blah. This is what I have in my hand. And we talked about it, and he was like, well, this is a really cool product, but I can't help you with this. This is a difficult thing to make. I don't have the capabilities to do this. And it was during December when I came to him, and he's like, maybe a couple months sooner, we could have probably figured it out, but not now.
They're in the middle of their busiest part of the year.
Exactly. Yeah. So I spoke to a couple others, no help. Nobody was any help. And then lo and behold, just calls here and there. We ended up coming to a commercial kitchen out in Blackfoot. So that's where I just ordered a bunch of like molds and, got my family together, got some chocolate from the wholesale, stores like, what was it called before? Smart Food Service. And put things off Walmart online. And then I just got to work and, me and my family made all the items. We figured out how to package them. how to, ship them, how to do the labels. It was a lot of work.
No, they're
Ton of work.
yeah.
Yeah.
People don't realize what goes into, I'm on Amazon, click, I want this here next day, right? There's a lot
A ton.
of logistics
Yeah.
behind that. And
Yeah.
so, well, that's amazing. I mean, truly is amazing. So when you were in Italy, it wasn't that you saw a cocoa bomb there. You saw a candy with a toy in it, and that kind of sparked some innovation
Just
on your own.
they have, obviously some similar candies that we do, but I was living in a city that was really, really passionate about all their confections, chocolate especially.
Yeah.
And working in a gelato shop, I realized that working with food and like with customers, and that was something that I found really, I guess, fulfilling. Like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People, anytime you eat gelato, like, or ice cream, you're happy. Like you never, and it was fun. So I took a lot of inspiration from like their different candies and their stuff, and that's what led from nothing to like this cocoa bomb sort of thing. From Kinder product Ferrero Rocher to this like cocoa bomb product, and ever since then, it really just blew up. 2019, we kind of went that route of figuring out how to package, how to label, how to ship, how to make customers, come back and whatnot. 2020 came around and we were still in that commercial kitchen. By that time, we had gotten a lot of national and even international attention. 2020 Q4 was a very, how do I say this? I guess motivating time for me. We had some of America's largest retailers reach out to us saying, hey, I have about 400 stores. I want a pallet maybe for each one. Or, like, oh, this is one of your wholesale clubs, America's largest wholesale club. We want to order for this next holiday season, 1 million plus units. And you're talking huge numbers at that point, right? So that was really inspiring. Also a little, what's the word I'm trying to look for? A little sort of intimidating at the time.
Yeah, because those guys, they don't pay instant either. So not only do you have to fulfill, but then you could be 30, 60, 90 days out, and they want a discount. And so anyway, that's intimidating and terrifying all at the same time. But there's people that do it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not that it's an opportunity you don't want to explore, but you got to realize who you're getting in bed with. Because I was a vendor, big company but I have little respect for that big company. They employ a lot of people, but man, they take advantage of vendors. So
they can.
That's part of their game plan, actually. So.
They definitely can. So 2020, we were kind of looking at that, working at a commercial kitchen. Realized we really had to kind of ramp things up if we were going to start taking a lot of these larger clients. And fast forward to 2021, we got a brand new facility up and running. So now we manufacture all of our items in Blackfoot, Idaho. We employ a lot of women that work there. I think it's a great way to introduce a new sort of job to the market that's very agricultural based. It gives women the opportunity to work in something different, something fun, more comfortable, so to say. And we took on larger clients. This past season, entered, I want to say, around 300, close to 400 stores.
Wow.
And now we're just getting ready to ramp things up for, the holiday 2022 season and even as early as 2023 season.
So are you still selling direct to consumers?
Yeah, so we do, I want to say 2020 to 2021, we definitely made a switch. We went from about 70% direct to consumer, 30% wholesale to flip. Now we do 70% wholesale, 30% direct to consumer. You can find a lot of our products on big sites like Walmart, Amazon, of course our website as well, but we found that it's, so to say, more lucrative to be on the wholesale side.
Now you're out there working at it and you've trademarked, or you're in the process of finishing up the trademark for the name. Someone infringes on that, because I'm sure there's people that have. Then what's the play? Is it to shut them down, or is it to get a percentage of business, or what do you guys do with that? Because your brand, they're infringing on your brand. They're infringing on your name, and you went spent a lot of time and money and effort to get that trademarked. So what do you do as people either deliberately or not, but they're infringing? So what's the game plan there?
So there's a lot going on with the name right now. When we went to go file this trademark, there was no name out there for this confection that was protected. So cocoa bombs as a term didn't exist anywhere on the USPTO. You looked it up online, nothing was there. And when I went to file the trademark, we went in with that knowledge, with that research, with that understanding. And then that process takes time.
Yeah.
And my video had gone viral. A lot of people had seen it. Some people started kind of noticing, people that I probably didn't want to notice did notice.
Yeah.
And 2020 comes around and you start to see a lot of similar products, exact same products out in the market with a very similar name. And what we have found is that our name is currently still under the trademark application process because it has been more generalized now. There's this whole sort of thing that's going on behind the scenes that we've been working, to figure out for the past 2 years. So for now, the term cocoa bombs, I'm trying to protect as much as possible.
Yeah.
But given the sort of genericism, so to say, and quote from the USPTO, there's a lot of work that goes into that and a lot of money that really goes into that as well. So for now, we've kept cocoa bombs. We've kind of taken it a step further to be more distinctive by adding the term Eric's Original Cocoa Bombs.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are in that process. And just kind of given the information I know now, that's really all I can say, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and you keep growing. So quarter over quarter, how is it looking?
So quarter over quarter, it's looking really well. We from 2020 to 2021, we tripled our sales. Yeah. So
that's a trick in and of itself to deal with the growth. Right?
It was a lot of growth happened really fast. And moving into this new facility really helped us be able to, take off that way. But it's still a lot of work, figuring out packaging, predicting the quantities, getting everything, the plans together, because there's a lot of food safety plans that have to be in place to do this, register with the FDA, get our workers trained. So we're growing pretty steadily. I think just last Q4 we did around over 150,000 cocoa bomb units.
Yeah.
So those went like this super fast. I underestimated the amount of packaging, so we could have done more sales, 4 times the amount in sales, but we ran out of packaging really fast.
So that hurts a little bit, not to rub salt in wounds, but you don't forecast, and you're talking the difference between solid year to a year where we multiply it by 4, or a quarter that we multiply it by 4, which is significant, right?
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So a lot of it though was really tied to not having that building done in time. Moving in super late October. Customers wanted them delivered some by August, by September. We didn't move until October, start manufacturing in October, so that kind of took a toll. But now that we know.
Well, and this is great because I kind of jokingly said, when I think of Blackfoot, I think of chocolate creations and these confections and whatnot. But you're going to make it that way. Is that fair to say? I mean, it's like. Because what's beyond cocoa bomb? Do you have other things that are rattling around in your head?
Definitely, yeah. So, I mean, cocoa bombs is definitely our staple product. It's something we're going to be focusing on heavily for years to come. But just kind of given the context we've came across, the people, we've started networking with, a lot of the buyers, for example, Kroger, we've been working with Kroger really closely. We sold a lot of items to them just this past quarter, only for one division. And one of their contacts put us in contact with another Kroger buyer, same company, just different division, more regions.
Right.
And they're like, hey, what other products do you have? What other stuff are you kind of coming out with? We're always looking to buy from smaller companies. And one advantage I have that I didn't know until I started working with some of these buyers is that it really kind of helps to be women or minority owned.
Right.
There's a certain amount of sales or purchases they have to make from companies like ours.
Yeah.
So that helps. And then just having those different contacts, they're always kind of looking for the next thing to happen.
No. No, really, really cool stuff. I mean, but what do you see? I mean, if you just keep on the trajectory of, hey, we got this one product and we're just going to master that. What would you say the forecast for the company?
If it's just one product, I mean, we definitely see ourselves focusing about 80% of our attention on cocoa bombs, 20% on, just sort of different variations of cocoa bombs or cocoa bombs based products sort of all around that product. But just for example, we did that 150 or so thousand units this past quarter alone. This year alone, we're probably trying to do closer to 500,000, 750,000.
Wow.
Just kind of estimated roughly. And that's just kind of where we plan on going. As we grow as a company, as we get more capital that comes our way, we're gonna up our production capabilities, our product offerings.
No, cool, amazing stuff. So are you still in contact with Boise State, or are they just kind of like, or what is their role with you at this point?
Yeah, so Boise State has been a really important step in just helping me get to where I am today. I mean, I would not have been able to do this without, the connections at my College of Business, and economics, and then going to Italy, made a huge impact in my life. It literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Coming back, I had no idea where to go, but Boise State was a big part of that. They actually helped me kind of get in contact with Small Business Development Center and, talk to attorneys and talk to, their tech help division. So Tech Help, have you heard of them before?
I don't think I'm familiar with Tech Help.
So Tech Help is like their Idaho Manufacturing Alliance.
Okay.
So they kind of help a lot of these companies like write food safety plans.
Are they
kind of
specific to the food industry, or are they other
No,
lines?
so
Okay,
they're
other verticals
yeah.
too.
So it's
Okay.
all manufacturing.
Yeah.
Big part of it I think is food, but it's like tech and
Yeah.
metals and all that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
really goes into it. So huge part of Boise State. I would say the networking is definitely the biggest thing that I have with Boise State right now.
Well, and I hear you talking about the help that your family's given you, the help that Boise State's given you, but we do have to remember there was a time where you had an option to send the money back.
Yeah.
And you dared to move forward, which congratulations and way to go.
Thank you.
Because it takes this type of swagger and this type of, no, we can do this, right?
Yeah.
Because who knows? It could have gone the other direction,
Exactly.
but it looks very promising. So that now Blackfoot, Idaho, getting after it. If people want to come and people pitching ideas to you at this point?
A couple. Mostly, we hear a lot of input from these buyers, from a lot of our large wholesale buyers.
Which is good to know.
Yeah.
They're the ones buying.
Exactly.
So we should kind of play to them, right?
Exactly. Yep. And as we start to, I guess, grow and continue to fulfill a lot of these orders for these buyers, we see a lot of questions asked and like, hey, can you do this, or could we put our label on it? Private label, white label. What if we do the backside? So we're moving. Like the company started direct to consumer, we've moved to wholesale now, and we're kind of keeping in line with the wholesale stuff, moving to private label and kind of getting a lot of input where we can.
And you foresee it staying in Blackfoot?
For the meantime, I foresee this side of the company staying in Blackfoot, yes. So I guess long term, really, I'm in it for the long term. I got asked if I had an exit strategy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Doesn't everyone say, "Now, what's your exit strategy?"
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I just kept the money. I'm just at this thing, right?
And
everyone's so quick to jump on an exit strategy. Enjoy the ride.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm still so young enough to where I have, my life to just kind of, grow this business, stay in it long term. I'm having a lot of fun with the food industry, especially confectionery. It's been a lot of fun. I'm super creative, and I love like kind of just having that ability be applied to my work. It gives me a lot of flexibility to design packaging, pack sizes, shapes, whatever. So it's a lot of fun for me. Long term, I see myself staying with Cocoa Bombs, but also expanding that sort of portfolio into other, you know, candy companies, maybe
Yeah.
some that are getting ready to retire, or some that don't
Yeah.
want to deal with, you know, the buyers and the manufacturing and that kind of stuff, you know.
Well, I'm super glad that we met, and
Same here.
I'm going to watch and hopefully stay in contact through networking. I mean, there's great
Of course.
networking opportunities
Mm-hmm.
here. I like to make ice cream, and so I make a ton of ice cream. But I make like my favorite one, which right now is 50-50. 50% of people love it. 50% of people are looking at
Okay.
me like, what? But it's a bacon maple goat cheese vinaigrette ice cream.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
which I love it, but
Yeah.
not so much. Olive oil, I like it, but I'll never make it again. Olive oil ice cream is like really earthy. But anyway, does that ever cross your mind about, I mean, you got the cocoa bomb, right? And it looks like you do white chocolate, things like that, but like throwing a jalapeno in there, do you do that currently? Or
It's actually something we're working on just right now, actually. That's
yeah.
very funny you mentioned that.
Because it does. I've had jalapeno chocolate cinnamon mix, and it has a little burn to it, but it's got a great kick to it.
Yeah, so we have the ability to make over 200 unique flavor profiles. We kind of like to focus on maybe 10, especially since we just kind of moved into this facility, you know, started to really ramp things up this last year. We focused on 10 that we knew would sell and do great. But, you know, now we have a little bit, you know, more time, especially that our super busy season has sort of passed, you know, focusing on R&D, different pack sizes, getting all that stuff together. Yeah, I mean, we've played around with bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
That was a popular item that, you know, was bought by a large restaurant chain. They ordered, can't remember how many they ordered, and they really loved them, and they're like, yeah, like, let's do this. Spicy, there's one that we're kind of working on now, sort of like your hot sauce sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of room for, you know, creative flavors and unique profiles, like, you know, your bacon goat cheese vinegar ice cream.
Like who would have thought?
Exactly.
Right? And I didn't come up with that idea. I looked at another one company that was doing it, and I just put my spin on it. Right?
Okay.
But I like yours because I don't know that was there anybody really doing what you're doing before. Now, maybe there was. Maybe someone in their home was making it. Right? But anyway, super cool. I'm grateful you're in the area because we like cool companies in the area. So. But anyway, is there anything else that you would like to talk about the business and your journey?
I would say that really at the end of the day, just sort of, you know, trust your instinct. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that kind of question themselves and is like, is there really something I want to do? Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? You know, everything in life is a risk.
Yeah.
You know, this business in itself too, I had to ask for a little bit of funding to get things kicking off. You know, my parents loaned me around $100,000, which was a huge risk.
We love mom and dad.
Yeah.
Let's understand something. You were never a $100,000 earner on their tax returns, so they are really investing in you, right? So they love you. They believe in you. That's great. Yeah.
And you know, thanks to them, my parents, you know, my mom, my dad, they've sacrificed a lot, you know, in their life. You know, me being first generation here, I feel like it's something I owe to them, and then even to myself. You know, it makes me work 10 times harder. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
No.
You know, you see a lot of these companies start out from nothing and then get to where they are today. You know, if they can do it, you can do it.
There was a time when your professor gave you an option: send the money back, get your ass to work. It sounds like was
exactly. Yep. So. Exactly.
So your quote is, which I kind of like it. It's kind of a Nike-esque, right? Just go for it. So, which I mean, you've lived it. You're not just like saying it. You've lived it. But what's the fear that you faced as you just go for it? There's got to be a little bit of anxiety of some level.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing is losing your money, losing your investment.
Your parents,
exactly.
They worked hard for that money.
Exactly,
right?
Especially when it's sort of like on their backs. You know, I'm just like, oh my god, like I really have to make this happen, or I owe my parents, you know, X amount of work and money, you know, for years to come. But you know, I really would say that really just going for it has helped me get to where I am today. You know, before I was doing this in a past life, I was a photographer. And that was the same thing. I started when I was around 16 or 17, and I was really young, taking on some of like these older clients, and they'd kind of look at me like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?"
You know
And
what you're doing?
I'm just like, "Yeah, of course," And some of them,
Been doing
and
this my whole life.
honestly, for some of them it wasn't too good. But as the years went by, 17, 18, 19, 20, I learned a lot. I actually ended up taking a position at Boise State as their photographer for the Department of Marketing and Communications.
Right.
Learned a lot there.
Yeah.
That helped me, propel that sort of career when I had it. And, it was really just going for it.
Yeah.
That helped me kind of succeed in that. That chapter's kind of been, I guess, closed, let's say.
Yeah.
Not finished, but, it's not something I focused on anymore.
Maybe a hobby.
Exactly. And, Cocoa Bombs, I saw like this huge opportunity, this viable opportunity, orders coming in, interest, calls. I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go for it. The demand's there, the orders are there. I just have to go for it. And
so how do people find Cocoa Bombs?
yeah, so Cocoa Bombs right now are available on our website, www.cocoabombs.com. That's COCOABOMBS.com. You can also find some of our products on Amazon. Just Google on Amazon, just go into the search bar, look for Cocoa Bombs. I think we're getting ready to launch some Valentine's Day stuff on there. Find us on Walmart.com. Kroger especially. I know we probably don't have any of those locations
Not
here.
Not here, but they're out
there. But yeah,
right?
if you're out there viewing from where you do have a Kroger, go ahead and find us in Kroger. And yeah, just keep your eye out because we're slowly making our way into some of America's largest retailers.
Well, you're doing cool stuff, and I think you're on for bigger and better things.
Thank you.
And hopefully your parents charge you.
I owe it to them.
Yes. I think you're going to take care of them.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I like the story because there's some humility involved. There's some swagger involved, like there should be. And anytime you have family involved and it goes right, that's always a good thing.
Definitely,
But I want you to stay here because we are going to talk, segue into our next and final section, which is talking about setting goals. I'm a big goal-oriented person. I find that that's the only way that I get things done. And there's many methodologies out there, and maybe you have a methodology that you like, but the one that Brian has used and that we're talking about today is the SMART goal writing. We're in 2022. If you haven't started to write out goals, I highly recommend that you take some time to do that. I believe that there's 4 areas of my life that I set goals. There's physical, mental, social, and spiritual, and it's worked for me. I say I've had successes in life, and also say I've had a few lumps on my head, but I'm with the same lady for 31 years, love her to death, and we take time every week to talk about goals. And some weeks we're better at it than others in terms of execution, but hey, we're in this thing together.
Exactly.
But the SMART methodology, first it's specific. What is it that you want? I go so far as to say when I'm writing out my goal, I write it as though it's been accomplished.
Yes, that's a
my
big thing. Yeah. And that's something actually that I've experienced. Yeah. I've seen it happen. Back when I did that in 2020, I wrote this a couple of times, every week or so, every other week, I would write on a little Post-it note, do $150,000 in sales in Cocoa Bombs. 2020, that's really close to what we did.
Yeah.
And, just writing it down and acting like it's already been done, $150,000 in sales, Cocoa Bombs. It happened.
Wow.
And then this year I did the same thing, and I got really, really close to what we did in sales too. So now I'm writing it for an even bigger amount this year, and I know it's going to happen. You just have to sort of act like it's already happened, like you've already accomplished it.
Because the universe wants that for you. As
Exactly.
But I do think that it's be specific, and it is in your case. Now we got to up that. We might have to put another 0 in there at some point,
Exactly.
So, I mean, we will.
Yeah. Definitely.
The next step is measured. And you track yours. If we look at our business specifically, I know in my businesses, we are measuring this every, 8 times a year. We're looking at certain things almost every month. But are you looking at yours typically quarterly, or how are you measuring your data?
Mine's more quarterly. Definitely some quarters are heavier and more busy than others. As we enter Q1, it's sort of a slower season. Holidays pass, people have spent their money. Buyers are kind of slowing down a bit, and then as we start to ramp up for like Valentine's and Easter, that kind of picks up a little bit more. Summertime sales are not super heavy, but negotiations are.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do when it comes to breaking up the year, I guess, in quarters.
Yeah.
Q1, Q2, kind of just focus on getting through Valentine's Day and Easter. And then come like the summertime, I'm talking to bigger clients, even as early as Q2 for these huge buyers,
Right.
Q1 for some,
Right.
to get into 2022 planning, 2023 planning 2 years ahead, and
Yeah.
really just kind of focus on what they want and what we'll be able to do.
And just off topic, not off topic, but are they giving specific numbers to you at that
Oh
point?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're giving us numbers, and that's where we have to kind of start forecasting and get budgets for packaging,
Right.
chocolate, sourcing items has been really hard
Yeah,
lately,
I'm
just
sure.
given the global issue.
Yeah.
Supply chain stuff is a bit of a mess right now.
Yeah. And then, so measured, so great, achievable. So we don't want to set goals that just, I mean, we got to eat the elephant one bite at a time. I don't know why you want to eat an elephant, but if you were to eat an elephant, it'd be one bite at a time.
Yep.
In your case, you started with, hey, I want to see us get to this amount on an annual basis. Now you're probably doing that or exceeding that on a quarterly basis, right? Relevant is the next one. What are the kind of the steps that need to happen for this goal to become reality, right? And then timed, I think it's imperative for us to put time.
Yes.
Because if you said one day, right, the one day things, they always get. So anyway, what else would you say to somebody? Because now here you are, you're what, 22, 23, 24, 25?
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah.
So now did you go Blackfoot or Snake River?
I went to both, actually.
Okay,
yeah,
so you were that
both.
kid.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But now Blackfoot and the Snake River ask you to come back and talk to their student body. And so what are the things in terms of goal setting that what's going to be your advice to this up and coming, because they're up and coming?
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I think, and I've heard this from actually somebody who's a big inspiration. She owned a candy company. We kind of met through this whole chocolate ordeal, cocoa bomb ordeal. And she said one thing that really stuck with me, and I've loved it ever since. But and I use it now. It's small bites at a time really just help you get to bigger and bigger goals. You don't want to eat the entire elephant at once.
Yeah.
And if you try to take on too much too quickly or all at once, you're going to be overwhelmed and burned out. You have to break it up into smaller sections, whether that's, physically you want to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever, you want to, produce more. You can't produce, 150,000 units all at once. It has to be broken up into, production schedule and all that stuff. So small bites at a time will get you to your big goals and to where you want it.
Yeah. Everybody wants to get there and have the exit strategy, but it's like, enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
Man. This is the best part. So, well, super grateful that you made it. I know Brian's been bugging you to come on, and then he bailed on us, but that's probably okay. But watch Eric Torres Garcia and the cool things that Cocoa Bomb's doing, because this is a big deal for our area. I'm excited to see new products and that he's up to. But with that, we'll just go ahead and close out the show. There's a video that Brian has in regards to the SMART goal technology or steps. And then if you're wanting some of this information, please reach out to Brian directly or to myself, and we'll. But thanks to Tyson today. Thanks you, Eric.
Thank you for having me.
And now we're going to talk, let me tell you. All right. Anyway, thanks again.
Right.
Peace.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, I'm Erica Olson. Today's whiteboard session is on how to write SMART goals. I'll walk you through where goals live in the planning hierarchy and then how to write great, meaningful SMART goals for your organization. Let's jump in. We're using the terminology goals in this particular video to articulate those statements in your plan that are short-term in nature, 12, 24 months-ish, and they have outcome statements built into them. They live in between strategic objectives or strategic priorities, which are those broad statements that make up the framework of your plan, and they cascade into shorter term items, which are initiatives and action items less than 12 months in nature. You might use different words for this particular part of your plan. Either way, what we really care about is that there's outcome statements within the goals. And let's talk about that. We're using the acronym SMART because it works and it helps us write great goals. It's a little bit overdone, so we have a little bit of a twist on it, but use it, it works. Let's spell it out. S stands for specific, M, measurable, A, actionable, R, realistic, and T, time-bound, with a little asterisk. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's apply it. I'm going to take it a little bit out of order and build the goal, starting with increase, which is our A. We like to see goals start with verbs that have motion. Actionable. Specific. We want to know what the goal means when we read it again in a month or 2 months. Clarity over brevity. Measurable. Numbers are measurable. Use them if you have them. This is your outcome-based area in your goal statement. T, time-bound. These two need to work together. This outcome and this time frame. And then R is that the whole goal statement is realistic and doable. And our little twist over here, this is our why. Don't oversmart your SMART goals. Have a little heart, a little passion. Why is this goal important? Make sure to add a phrase that explains that. So great SMART goals also have a meaningful commitment with the following items. Somebody owns it. We're really clear about what success looks like, and we're clear about when success is going to be achieved. That's all we have for today. I hope this helps you write SMART goals for your organization. Subscribe to our channel. Happy strategizing.